All right, let's get right into it. Did you know that every time you use a Linux system, there's a whole world of invisible forces working just beneath the surface? These are the things that make everything just work. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and learn how to become the master of these hidden processes.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Beyond the web browser you open or the commands you type in the terminal, there is a constant hum of activity that you probably never even see. So what's really going on in the shadows of your operating system?
Well, they're called daemons. And no, don't worry, they're not some spooky supernatural thing. They're actually essential background services that power your entire system. And in this explainer, we're not just going to find them, we're going to understand them, and we are going to learn how to control them. Let's go.
But, like any good hunt, you can't just run out into the wilderness. First, we need to know exactly what we're looking for. And that whole journey starts with a much more basic idea: the process.
So what's a process? It's actually super simple. A process is just any program that is currently running on your machine. You open up your terminal, that's a process. You launch a text editor to write some code, you just created another process. Each one is a distinct task that your computer is actively working on.
And you can actually see this stuff for yourself. The PS command, this is the first tool in our hunting toolkit. It lets us scan the entire system and see a list of all the active processes. Think of it like a digital tracker that shows you the footprints of every single program that's running. It's proof that your actions create these real, trackable tasks in the system.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, because not all processes are the same. On the one hand, you have interactive processes like that text editor we mentioned. You start it, you use it, and you close it. It's all manual. But daemons, they're a completely different beast. They start up automatically when Linux boots, they do their work completely invisibly in the background, and they just keep on running to provide some kind of constant service.
These daemons are really the unsung heroes of your entire system. I mean, they're handling everything from your network connection to your printer to letting you log in remotely. And here's a little pro tip for our hunt. A lot of daemons have a name that ends with the letter D. So when you see something like SSHD, that's a huge clue that you're looking at the secure shell daemon.
So, if you've got all of these different daemons running around doing their own thing, it begs the question, who's in charge here? Who's conducting this whole orchestra? Well, turns out there is one daemon to rule them all. Let's go meet the boss.
This is it. Process ID number 1. When your Linux kernel boots up, this is the very first process that it launches. Every other single process on your entire system is a descendant of this one. This is the master daemon.
And its name is systemd. Now, this master daemon has two jobs, and they are both absolutely critical. First, it's what we call the init system, which means it's responsible for basically starting up the rest of the computer when you boot. And second, it's the service manager, which means for the rest of the time, its job is to watch over and manage all of the other daemons.
Now here's a key piece of lingo you've got to know for our hunt. Systemd is a little particular. It doesn't call the things it manages daemons or services. It has its own special term for them: units. You're going to want to remember that because it's absolutely essential for the commands we're about to learn.
All right, so we know what daemons are. We've met their master, systemd. Now it is time to get our hands on our main hunting tool. It's time to learn how to master systemctl.
Managing daemons with systemctl is actually really logical. You can think of it as a simple three-step flow. First, you check its current condition with the status command. Then, you can take immediate action right now using stop or start. And finally, you can decide what it should do in the future. Whether it should launch at boot by using enable or disable. See? Status, action, future.
So let's just lay these all out. The commands start, stop, restart, and status, those are all for controlling a daemon right now in the moment. Then you have enable and disable. Those are for setting up what happens the next time you reboot the machine. That's it. This is your essential daemon hunting cheat sheet right here.
Okay, theory time is over. We've got the concepts down, we've got the tools in our belt. Now let's put it all together and go on a real-world hunt. This is where we put your new skills to the test.
So here's our mission. You need to get the nginx web server daemon up and running. You type the command we just learned, systemctl start nginx, and it fails. This happens all the time in the real world. So, what do you do now?
Now here's the amazing part. Systemd doesn't just give you a silent failure. It actually gives you a clue. It literally tells you the next two commands you should run to figure out what went wrong. It's pointing you straight toward the solution. So our first step is to listen to our guide.
And sure enough,
When you run journalctl to check the system's logbook, boom, you find the smoking gun, this little message right here, address already in use. That is the key. That tells us that Nginx tried to grab a network port, but some other daemon was already sitting on it.
And just like that, the hunt is a success. You did it. You followed the trail of clues, you diagnosed the conflict, and now you understand why the command failed. You figured out that another daemon was the culprit. And that means your next step is to go find and stop that conflicting service. That right there is the core skill of a daemon hunter.
So let's just take a step back for a moment. You started this whole thing maybe not even knowing what was secretly running on your system. And now you have both the knowledge and the tools to find out and take control.
Think about it. In just the last few minutes, you've learned exactly what daemons are and how they're different from the programs you run every day. You've met systemd, the process that kicks everything off. You've gotten your hands on the systemctl toolkit, and most importantly, you used all of that to solve a real-world problem.
You are officially a daemon hunter now. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with these new skills? Your system is packed with these hidden daemons, and every single one has a job to do, a story to tell. So go on,